One last tip before you go for whatever our clients are, the lightning tip.
I think the best I have is sell without selling.
So here are the highlights of a recent podcast I was on where I really share the secret sauce of how we're helping our done-for-you clients get more B2B clients for their business using LinkedIn and email. And it's probably not what you think. And I was interviewed by some pretty heavy hitters, so check it out and let me know your thoughts.
What's the biggest problem that people face on LinkedIn?
They don't know what to do. They're doing all the wrong things. That's the biggest thing I see with clients is they have no idea what to do. They have no idea what to do, or they bought a program showing them to do one thing and it's not working. And they're frustrated as hell. They're like, all my ideal clients are here. I can see them, but how do I get them to respond to me to get on a call? That's in my opinion. Yeah.
So on LinkedIn, many of us are there for jobs initially, and then we transfer to the business side, or we transfer to actually promoting a coaching business, a marketing business, or some sales. So maybe we can start by you sharing with us, and who's going to watch this video, what's one or two things that we should not do that people are not likely to know? It's easy to know some of the easy stuff. Don't spam everybody and don't put negative stuff, and you're swimming in the lake. But what are some of the things from a business perspective that we should not do on LinkedIn?
Okay, that's a great question. I'll have to think about that. But what comes to mind off the top is when you're messaging someone, don't try to sell them. And I know that sounds crazy because that's what everybody wants. They want more clients, but you have to do it in an altruistic way where you're giving value, and then you can pitch them. But you don't want to pitch them right away. So a lot of people, what they do on LinkedIn, they'll make a connection request, or they'll reach out to someone, and they'll send their link to their website, or they'll send something right away. Hey, I'm doing this webinar on blah, 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 or I have this great product on da, 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 da. Check it out. Let me know if you want some help with that. That's a definite no-no because people right away are going to be turned off. It's like someone coming on the street corner and just trying to grab you and say, hey, by the way, you got to come into my restaurant. We're great. It's too much. It's too fast, too soon. You can't do that. Another thing I would recommend people not do is rely on posting content. So a lot of the gurus will say, post content. Now I post content too, but the reason why I post content is not to acquire new clients. The reason why I post content is when I have a sales call that people want to check me out, they go check out my content, they realize I'm the real deal and I know what I'm talking about. So for me, it's not about getting new clients. Now, yes, I do get new clients just from my content, but that's not my purpose is to give value in the content. So a lot of people rely on posting content because a lot of the gurus say, listen, you got to post content and people will just come. The challenge with that is that the people that may come are, number one, not highly filtered. They're not your ideal clients, okay? And number two, the algorithm on LinkedIn kind of sucks in the sense that they don't really show your content to a lot of people. So you can't rely on that to build your business.
What's the positive stuff you can rely on?
Yeah, so that there's really if I were to categorize it, there's a few categories, okay? So the first thing that has to happen is your profile has to be written in such a way that people are scratching on the walls to get to you. It can't be written in a way where it's a good idea to call you, or it's a good idea to talk to you. They got to be so excited that they're just jumping out of their skin to want to talk to you. So when people say, you got to optimize your profile, I really don't like that term because that's easy to do. But what I like to do is I like to write it in such a way that it's beyond compelling. So that's the first thing that has to happen. So the about section, the headline, and your messaging, message one, message two, message three, like what does that look like so that it's not too salesy, it's not cheesy, it's very professional and ethical, but it still drives home that you can really help that person. So you want to help them by actually helping them, which is a Frank Kern phrase. You want to help them by actually helping them. So that's number one. The second thing is you have to use Sales Navigator to filter these people. You can't just randomly go on people and say, okay, I'm looking for coaches and consultants. You gotta filter them so that you're really dialing into your exact ideal clients, okay? And number three is you have to create messaging. So like, remember I said message one, message two, message three, that is, it's so congruent with who they are because you've done your research, you know who your avatar is. It's so congruent with who they are. They almost feel compelled to respond to you. And with the messaging, you can't just do it automated. like 3-4 years ago, we could use automated, we get a bunch of calls and it was so easy. Now the market is very smart and they know it's automated. So what we do is we do a hybrid of that. So we do some automated and some hyper personalized so that the person, the lead on the other end feels like, wow, this guy's talking to me, okay? And the last thing I would say is speed the lead. So speed the lead is if someone responds to you, let's say you message someone and say, hey, Harrison, I checked out your profile, really love what you're doing. I saw you had a testimonial from DeMartini. Wow, you're amazing. If you're open to it, let's connect. And then you connect right away. You're, hey, thanks so much. Yeah, I love John. He's a great guy, blah, blah, blah. And then the other guy, then there's no response for 2 days. Is that going to make you feel special or is that going to make you feel like a number? So we want all the leads to feel special. We want them to feel like they're the only ones that we're talking to. So because of that, the speed, the lead, I like to have my team respond to people typically within minutes. Now, it doesn't always happen because sometimes we get a message at 3 o'clock in the morning because it's UK time or they're in New Zealand or whatever. But in general, my team and I, we train on this to get the response out as quickly as possible. So I can't remember the question, but I hope that covers more than what you asked for.
Can I ask a question on the heading? So I get the value. That's exactly what we teach salespeople to do. Do not go in there and be salesy. Don't make assumptions. Help the customer to understand what their problems are. Do it through dialogue. So I'm totally on board with that. And I always knew it would work online as well, even though I'm not a big online guy. My question is, in the heading, would it be too salesy if you were to offer a webinar right in the heading of the LinkedIn profile? So you're working on the copy, or is that like, that's too direct?
It's too much. It's too much. It's too much, right? It's like, listen, take me out to dinner first. Like, let's get to know each other. I don't even know you. You're inviting me to a webinar. I don't even know what you do. So yes, it's too much. You have to show how you can help them, but in a non-salesy way. And if you put your, like in the banner, some people will put like, email me here and contact me here, and here's my phone number. No one's going to ever do that. No one in the history of LinkedIn, in my opinion, has ever like, oh, there's his email. I don't know what this guy does. I don't know anything about him, but let me email him and maybe I can give him $100,000. Maybe he can help me. It doesn't happen like that. It's like sales, Mark, you know about this. In sales, you got to build that relationship. You got to show that you care about them. And then they have to feel like you're the expert, that you can really help them. And you're not going to do that by saying, here, check out my webinar in the headline.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're looking for more content like that, just check out the next video where I break it down even further.